setup. So, first things first, I'm going to always be looking at different liquidity pools. And what do I mean by that? I mean, this is pretty simple stuff. Liquidity are swing highs or swing lows. So we go on the 1 minute chart. You know what a swing high is going to be. It's going to be if the middle candle has the highest high of the candles surrounding it in a 3 candle formation, that's a swing high. For example, we look at these 3 candles. The middle one is a swing high because its high is higher than the 2 on either side of it. Whereas, this candle would not be a swing high because this high is higher than it, this high is higher than it. It's the opposite for a swing low. This candle would be a swing low because you look at the 2 next to it, their lows are way higher up than that low. So I like to rank those highs and lows in lists of importance. So first for me is always going to be data wicks. Let's say you go on forexfactory.com and you're like, oh, okay, there's a red folder news event. Like for example, on August 12th, Tuesday at 8:30, we had CPI data, right? So if we go over to August 12th at 8 in the morning, 8:30 in the morning, we see this crazy ass candle right here. That's a data wick setup. So you mark out the low and you mark out the high. If you get a sweep of the low and you get our setup, which I'm going to get into, then you could take it the opposite direction. As you could see, we swept it and fucking ran with it. So data wick highs and lows are number 1. Number 2 is Asia and London highs and lows. So this is where we get into kill zones. This is the number 1 indicator for kill zones. ICT kill zones and pivots on TradingView is absolute money. It marks out all the kill zone sessions. I only trade the New York AM kill zone session, but London highs and London lows are extremely important. I like to see us get a sweep of one of those London lows or London highs or Asia lows, Asia highs in New York AM because as you can see here, we swept both overnight and got an immediate bullish reaction off of it. So, that just shows how powerful and effective those levels are. We go over to here's the Asia high, London high getting swept. We got to set up off Asia high, and then bam, and then news came, and, you get crazy reactions off those. Previous day high and previous day low sweeps, pretty obvious. Just what was the lowest or highest point of the day before. For example, this was the lowest point of this day. This would be the previous day low right here. We came down in the New York AM session the next day, swept it, got a setup, and went long. I think that was actually the level I traded off of Friday. Then, 4-hour and hourly, that's pretty simple. You just go on the 4-hour or you go on the hourly and you look for any swing highs or swing lows to get swept and you get a reaction off of them like this or this, etc. Those are higher time frame highs and lows. Lastly, I don't trade PM, but if you do trade PM, you can take trades off of a sweep of the New York AM session high or low. Like as you can see here, we ran the low before New York lunch, got a nice V-shape off of it, and then continued bullish for a little bit. So those are the liquidity pools that I look for. So now, how do I enter trades? Literally, this is why I like my shit so much, is because I could just sit there and wait for my levels. Pre-market, I mark out all of these levels, where is Asia high and low, where's London high and low, where's some hourlies, and I just wait for price to hit one of those levels. So, for example, let's say we come up into London high here. So, when we come up into London high, I'm looking for us to form a fair value gap on the lower time frame, either the 30-second, 1 minute, 2 minute, max 3 minute. I'm looking for a fair value gap to get formed. Then I'm looking for us to get an immediate V-shaped reaction, meaning we come up and come back around off our high or low that we're sweeping. And then with displacement and momentum inverse through that fair value gap that we formed. So what do I mean by inverse? This is what I mean by inverse. This is a fair value gap. Fair value gap, you should know what that is. An inverse is when we just disrespected. This was a bullish move because it's happening with bullish momentum. But when we inverse it to the opposite side with bearish momentum, usually means we're going to keep on going in that direction because the lower time frame is telling us that we are flipping. So, all I fucking do is combine a sweep of one of these levels that I just marked out and one of those inverse fair value gaps, right? So, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So, you get a sweep and you get an inverse fair value gap. That is how I'm entering. Now, let's talk about, execution. What makes, for a good setup. So, this is my trade checklist. This is pretty big here. So, are we in premium or discount of the range? What I mean by that is, are we taking a short when we're in the lower part of the range, aka the discount? Then that's not good. So, right here, if we look, where's my equilibrium? Okay, so this is the 50% level, meaning the middle of the recent range that we have made. I want to long below the 50%, aka the discount, and short above the 50%, aka the premium. So if I have a short here, that would be in premium of the range. We want it to be correct. Then we want a major liquidity sweep. Any one of these liquidity pools getting swept would be our major liquidity sweep. We want a good reaction. What do I mean by a good reaction? What I mean by a good reaction is we come up and take out this high. I don't want us to take out this high and then stall, chop up, maybe make a move down, make another move up, and then go down. I want us to come up, take out this high, and then immediately V-shape off of it, because it's telling me, okay, price is reacting to this high. It's an important key level, and we're going to reverse. So good reaction. Inside kill zone, I only take trades inside the New York AM kill zone, which is 9:30 to 11:10. Then, good momentum. What I mean by good momentum is, are we inversing the fair value gap with good momentum? Let's say we make this bullish fair value gap. We come up and we make it. We reverse. Are we chopping through? Are we wicking and then closing back in the box? Then, that starts to decline the setup a bit. I want us to V-shape and then just immediately displace and get a closed candle below the gap. That is what's going to make the fucking trade money. All right, that's called displacement. Good momentum in displacing through the gap. That shit is so important, and a lot of people I know don't even take trades at all if there's no displacement. Then, clear draw on liquidity. What that means is, are we targeting something obvious? Whether that be, opposing liquidity, unfilled fair value gaps, data highs, data lows. Are we targeting any of these liquidity pools, or any unfilled fair value gaps, or equal highs? Any important areas where we think price is going to draw to? Like right here. If I were to take a short at open, and I'm like, well, I want us to hit previous day low. Like right here, for example, we take this inverse, and I'm like, I see price coming down to the previous day low. That'll be a clear draw. Then SMT, just when NQ takes out a high that ES doesn't, or vice versa. For example, let's say London took out this New York PM high on ES, but not on NQ. That would be an SMT divergence, and that means price is probably going to reverse. So when you see those, as you could see. So, I don't even know if that was up, but So that is the technical execution. So I don't need all of these checked out, but the more I check off, the better, obviously. If I check out all of these, that's an A+ setup. If I check out, 4, it's like a B+. If I check out 5 to 6, we're looking at A- or A. All 7 is what I call an A+ fucking setup. So now let's go into execution. The only way I can really show you how to execute is by backtesting. So right here I have the August backtest already loaded up. I decided to pick August for this backtest because we can use the 30-second on it then. So let's try. August has been a solid month for me. I think I only have lost like twice, 3 times maybe in August. So or something like that. I don't even fucking remember, to be honest with you. So let's get it going. So let's go to open. So this is the 9:30 open. What am I going to do? I got to find all of my levels. So let me go to Forex Factory. And let me make sure there was no news on August 1st. I'm assuming there wasn't, but let's see. Okay, no, I was wrong. There was NFP. Fuck. Okay, so 8:30 news right here, as you could see. Okay, actually, this is perfect. So this would be what I call a data wick setup. So where the fuck is the bar? All right, so right here at 8:30 in the morning, we made a data wick. What did we leave? A low and a high for NFP. And what are we looking for? A sweep, a reaction, an inverse. All right, so here we are on the 1-minute chart. So we're going to wait. Okay, so we swept it, and we have no gap on the 1 minute. Let's check the 30-second. No gap on the 30-second. 2 minute, nothing. We have that upper 1 minute, and we have this upper 2 minute, but that's a little close. We could try the 15-second. Looks like no gap. Holy shit. Wow, that's actually hilarious. Okay, so then I just wouldn't take a trade here. But as you could see, you could have taken that upper 1 minute and gone to your liquidity level. That is what we like to call a data wick setup, where it goes, you sweep the low and get a setup to the high, etc. So now we're going to go all the way to that 9:30 open, and we're going to mark out our levels. So, first, hourly. Do we have any obvious hourly lows or highs or anything nearby? It seems like we displaced pretty fucking fat. So we have this low. We have, you know, no obvious highs or anything like that. London low got swept. Let's go to 4 hour. 4 hour time frame. Let's see. We have this low right here. Yeah, all right. And then no obvious highs. So let's see what we could get here. So this would be a low as we said. So let's see. Do we hit anything off open? So we hit this low. And then we keep trending down. So let's see. Do we get to our next low in New York AM? Yes, we do. Okay, so we hit a low here, and we made a nice little 1 minute gap here. Okay. Let's see if we get this inverse or not. Okay, so there's the inverse off the level. So let me break down why we're going to take this trade. Let's go to the checklist. Are we in premium or discounted range? Well, let's see. Where's the 50% level? It's up here. Okay, so we're longing below the 50%. So bang, that's a check. Major liquidity sweep, yes. We swept a 4 hour low, as you could see. Holy shit. Okay, fuck it. It's there. You know it's there. So, then, good reaction, yes. We came down and immediately came back up off of it. So that is what I would call a good reaction. Inside the kill zone, yep, we're in the New York AM kill zone. Good momentum. The momentum is solid. Honestly, you know, I like this displacement candle right here. And then we had another displacement candle to inverse it. And then clear draw on liquidity. The draw on liquidity here would probably be, do we have an unfilled 5 or anything above? We have some unfilled 5 minutes, probably an unfilled 15. Yeah, I mean, the clear draw, I guess you could argue is a 50% level, but, you know, there are targets above, so I would check that. And then SMT, I'm not doing SMTs for this stream just because it's going to take way too long. So now, real quick, let's talk about stop loss. So there are 2 types of stop losses you can use. If you're looking for an immediate, like you like the reaction off the sweep, you're getting something immediate like this, I will make my stop loss a close below the fair value gap. So I wouldn't put the stop here. I would estimate it a couple points below just to account for a possible, you know, wick below the fair value gap and then come back up. So my stop loss is a manual close of a candle below that fair value gap that we inversed, right? And then my take profit, I'm always going to try and target 1-to-1. So this is about 55 points. This is a high right here. So this would be a 1-to-1 setup. Checking off our list, I'd say it's about an A-A setup. And we're getting a sweep. Let's see if this works. All right, so TP is hit, as you can see. And this is why I like the close below instead of the hard stop. We entered and we got this displacement candle below, and many people would exit or get out or maybe be like, oh fuck, like I'm gonna move my stop loss up and shit like that. Like, no, you're a pussy. I am going to always target that 1-to-1, and I'm gonna wait until we close below or nothing. So this will be a win for day 1 of the challenge. So that was 8-1, and you know, if anybody has questions on why I took that, you know, like I said, take a screenshot of this checklist. Look at my liquidity pool rankings. It's fucking bread and butter every day. All right. Stinky. All right. All right. So now let's go to the next day, right? So that was August 1st. It was a W. Let's go to August 4th. We're going to do the exact same thing, guys. The reason why I like this strat so much is because it's pretty simple. First of all, you know, you just wait for major liquidity sweeps and, I'm retarded. Major liquidity sweeps and, inverses. But you also, you know, just get to look at your levels, set up your levels, and just see what gets hit and what we react to. And if one level doesn't get hit, then who cares? You wait for the next one. You know what I mean? So, first of all, market open. We'll just mark out some lows and highs here on the hourly. We got the hourlies. My indicator will give me the Asia high and lows. So that's pretty cool. That is this one, ICT Customazo 50% line. So that will give me all the session highs and lows, which is pretty fire. No obvious levels here. That's a London low, so I don't even need to mark that. So now we're going to wait. All right, when are we going to react to something? These are some levels right here as well that my indicator is showing me. The New York AM high and from yesterday. So we swept that at open. Let's see if we get a reaction off of it. It doesn't seem like it. I think I remember this day. I think we just trended up for a bit. Okay, so we got to our first level, and we're getting a little reaction off of it, right? See if we have a 30-second gap here. No, I'll just go fuck myself, I guess. So let's see if we have a 2-minute gap. Okay, nothing here. So we re-sweep here. Then we make another 1 minute gap. And it looks like we're going to keep on trending up. Let me check if there's any other levels for us to possibly sweep here. We have London high up here, and then we have another high from up there. So let's see. Do we go to either because we're displacing through our levels? Remember, this move up over, I like this reaction at first, but when we're going up and displacing, that is not what I would like to call a good reaction to the level, so I'm no longer looking at it. So let's see. Do we go up to previous day high or London high? Wow, this day fucking sucked. Here, what time is it at this point? 10:46? Alright, so this is probably a no trade day. Alright, that's fine with me. Okay, so this would be a no trade day. The reason for the no trades is fully because we didn't fucking sweep anything, you know what I mean? We didn't hit an hourly. We didn't hit a 4 hour. We just trended, and that's summer price action for you. You know, we swept these levels at open, but as you can see, literally no reaction. Like, off open, we just pumped, and it was clear that was what we were going to do the whole day. So, no trade. Let's go to 8.5. All right. And that's another thing that a lot of people, you know, they think, you know, you got to take 1 million trades a day, or, you know, if I'm not taking a trade, I'm doing something wrong. That's not true at all. If you're not taking a trade, you know, that's honestly a good thing in my opinion. I would rather go break even 100 times out of 100 than take a trade off of, you know, some forced bullshit. So this is London low right here that's marked out. London high already got swept. Remember, this is the next day. Let's see. We'll mark out this high. All right, let's see what we get. So it looks like at open, we're actually sweeping London high, funny enough. So, okay, we swept London high, and we make this 1 minute gap. Let's see here. Do we go for a new... Here, fuck that up. All right, so we swept London high, which also swept Asia. Or London low, my bad. Which also swept Asia low, and as you can see, it made a reaction off that and got a bullish move. So we sweep here. Is there any good setups for us to possibly take here? So nothing on the 30-second, nothing on the 1 minute. That 1 minute is solid, but it's pretty high up. But I think that's honestly probably the best gap here. So we're going to try the 1 minute, and let's go through the checklist. Are we below the 50% in longing? Yes, we are. Major liquidity sweep, London low, absolutely. Good reaction. The reaction, not the best. Inside kill zone, yes. Good momentum. Or, sorry, the momentum is shit. The reaction off the low is good because we're not, like, displacing lower or doing anything like that. Clear draw on liquidity, yes. It is at 50% level. And then SMT, not sure. All right, so let's see. Do we get this inverse anytime soon? Look at that momentum candle through the gap. That's absolutely what we want to see. Stop 1-to-1, and then we target the high. It's about 1-to-1 RR, and then let's see what happens. So TP is hit right there. 1-to-1. Nothing unusual. Targeted this high, which is about 1-to-1. Great momentum through. Great reaction off the sweep. So that will be another win. All right, let's go to 8.6. Any questions on why I'm taking these setups? Please feel free to ask. You know, this is my last time in a while. Signal bot on hold for a month. Yeah, bro. I think I might be one of the only people who's like fine with signal botting. Like, not permanently. I don't think you should signal bot anyone forever because you never know what could happen. But I think you should signal bot someone at the beginning because it helps you learn how to execute. And also, it's good to hear someone who's profitable talk through a day or talk through trades. In my opinion, I don't think you should do that full time. But if you're learning my strategy, you should probably watch how I execute it. You know what I mean? All right, so this is the next day. We got this low on hourly. We got London highs, which seems to get swept off open. So, I mean, that'll probably be the trade. Let's see. Let's see what happens. So that's, you know, none of these are hourly highs, though. That's one thing. So let's see. All right, open comes, and we immediately sweep out this London high. Do we get a 30-second setup? Because we definitely don't get it. Okay, this is motherfucking money right here. So let's talk about this trade. Immediate reaction. Great momentum through the gap. 30-second inverse. We're in premium because, as you can see, the 50% is down here. So we're shorting in premium. Great reaction in the kill zone. Good momentum. Clear draw on liquidity would be the 50% and also these lows that I marked out. So if this fails, this is the problem. A lot of people seem to think that setups are good or bad determined on if based on if they work or not. You know, if I'm or based on your P&L, I should say, because this literally checks all my boxes. This is an A plus setup, immediate reaction. But if this setup doesn't work, does that mean that it was a bad trade? Does that mean that I shouldn't have taken it? Fuck no, because I know my strategy, and I know my strategy is profitable over time. So I think a lot of people will take one loss or two losses in a row, and they'll start to question the strategy. If this trade doesn't work, then that doesn't mean that the strategy doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like shit can fail for any reason all the time. So let's see. Okay, well, sadly, I was still fucking correct. I don't really know what this is. 936. I wonder what that was. But let's talk about would I get stopped out here? No, because no candle closed above that fair value gap. Remember, that is my risk management. This was just my guess here. But even if it stops me out right here, I would still get out. What I mean by that is I estimated my stop to be about 13 points. If the candle closed above the gap right around here for 10, I'd just manually exit. So I'd lose a little bit less. That's a good thing about the manual. Obviously, it could fuck you too where it keeps on going. But there usually is in live time a certain point where I'll be like, all right, I'm down too much. I got to manually exit even before the candle closes. But that's another dub. And guys, that's a great one to show because it's literally an A+ setup. Immediate reaction, etc., etc. You guys know what the fuck it is. Let's go to the next day. Alright, and also I'm doing this fucking live time, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not, I'm basically, I already traded all of these days recently, so I guess it's hard for me to be like, you know, because I don't remember, honestly. I don't remember the trades I take like 2 or 3 days after I take them. Like, sometimes I'll be like, oh, I think I took this already. But, you know, overall, this is just me trading what I'm seeing. I just like the recency of this. So, got this swing high that gets taken out at open. Let's go to 4 hours, see if there's anything on 4 hours. This is probably another trend day. You have this 4-hour gap right above this New York AM high, so that'll be interesting to look at. Yeah, okay, let's see it. All right, so at open, what happens? And remember, these highs are usually good targets for price, right? Because, you know, this is where liquidity is resting, so price is usually going to go to them. Okay, so as we see, we immediately went to this high, and there's this big-ass 1 minute. Let's see if there's a 2 minute or something off this. Okay, this 2 minute actually isn't bad at all. This is actually a pretty nice 2 minute. Let's see if there's a 30. Nothing great. I think the 2 minute is the best one. So let's talk about this, right? We swept an hourly high and immediate beautiful wick off it, right? Great wick. So I would like to see us come down and inverse this gap. Let's see if we do in the next couple. Holy shit. Okay, so 2 things you can do here. I'm actually glad that we got this. So there's a couple things that we could do here. This is immediate beauty. Like, where's the 50% level? Are we above it? Yes, we are. So this is in premium. We're shorting in premium, which is great. Major liquidity sweep the hourly. You know, even though it's 5th on our list, it's still a major liquidity sweep. These are all major liquidity sweeps. Good reaction, phenomenal momentum. Inside the kill zone, of course. Clear drawn liquidity. New York AM low, 50%. London, Asia. There's plenty of lows down here that we could target as draws. So, here's what I would do in this situation. This is personal preference. If you are that confident in it, you could put your stop back at that close above. But if we displace very far below, I'm usually expecting momentum to keep on going and take us to our target. So this New York AM low, not bad at all for us. So this is what I would call another A setup. But the close makes it a little tricky. You could do one of 2 things. You could enter off this candle, or you could wait for a pullback to the gap and then a re-entry. Me personally, I'm usually going to try and catch the momentum of it, and if I get stopped out, then it's all good, because that means that the move is typically just a fake out. And I will usually put the stop at a retest just because the stop, if I were to go up here, would be a little big, right? So in moments like this where we inverse with such momentum, I'm typically going to put the stop loss at a retest of the gap, and then, of course, 1-to-1 take profit. So I wouldn't be surprised if this fails, to be honest with you, just because these, you know, okay, never mind. It did win. Went right to our draw, 1-to-1, 20 points. So a nice win there. Let's go to 80. So this is an A setup again. Now, could this have failed? For sure. Would that mean that it's not a good setup? Of course not. All right, and that's why people got to remember, like, no strategy is 100% win rate. I have a 70-75% win rate every month. That means that 1 out of 4 times a setup like this could fucking fail and will fail, you know what I mean? So that's why you should never go into a trade thinking, this is about a bank, because then you're just setting false expectations for yourself, or you're setting like you should go into every trade thinking, okay, this is my setup and I'm taking it. All I'm doing is follow my rules. You do not want to ever trade for the purpose of making money, because then you're just going to set false rules and you're going to get pissed when you lose. You know what I mean? All right, let's go on the hourly chart. So we have some session highs here, etc., etc. London low right there and an hourly low right below London. Okay, so we have some lows and highs printed out on the chart. We are right at the 50% level off open. Let's see if we could go and hit one of our levels. So we just edged, is this Asia? Okay, so we edged Asia in pre-market. See if we can come up and take it for real now. Okay, so we just took out Asia high. Will we displace and go to previous day high? I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see. Looks like we're stalling a bit. I would be much happier if we got previous day high, which it looks like we're about to. Bam. Okay, so there's previous day high right there. Now, let's see. We have this 1 minute gap. It's kind of small. I'm assuming we didn't make a 2 minute. Okay, did we make a 30-second? Kind of somewhere. Not thrilled with the 1 minute gap being so small, but I will take this just because it's our system. So let's see. Do we get an immediate reaction off the previous day high? We do, and we get the momentum close below. So it's a little tricky because we have this gap. Now, let's talk about this. My stop, close below, is only 10 points here. That's really fucking small. Because the gap is so small, that's why the stop loss is so small. Like, this is a 3-point gap, you know what I mean? But we are getting momentum. So this would be a moment where I put my stop instead at the high, and I'm still targeting 1-to-1, and we got these nice equal lows here as well. I wouldn't be surprised if this fails just because I feel like I remember this failing. But this is, let's go down the checklist. We are shorting in premium. We have a major liquidity sweep. Previous day high is one of my favorites, honestly. Good reaction, immediate reaction and momentum. Inside the kill zone. Clear draw. Yes, 50% level. We think we're going to go to that. And then, SMT we're not looking at right now. So, let's see if this gives us our first loss of the session. Nope. Okay, fuck. All right, I'm actually just electric. So this is a nice-ass 1 minute. Good win here. We're doing well here. So the back test is so far so good. But I guarantee you, and I say this because this just happened, I took L's, back-to-back L's these 2 days. Does that mean that the system doesn't work, guys? Let me know. No, it does not mean that. So yeah, good reaction. Gap is a little small, so I'll extend the stop a little bit. Like, I like my stop to be more than, 8 or 9 points. Because then it's like, all right, we're just scalping here. One little-ass fake-out move could stop me out. You know what I mean? All right, so that was August 8th. So now we're going to go to a new week. This week was a break-even week for me because of those back-to-back losses this week. So let's see what we do in the back test. I'm assuming I'm going to try and catch the same trades that I took, but let's see. All right, so we have London high, we have London low. Those are the most immediate, obvious levels. So let's see if we get a level. Let's see if we get a trade off of one of them. Hopefully this checklist and everything is making sense right now. Can you clarify what a 50% is again? 50% level is, it's in the fucking name. It's the 50% of the range. So let's say you make a range here. This is like London low, this is London high. The middle would be the 50% level, or the exact middle point of that area. So for example, this is my 50% level. I don't like marking it out, so I use this ICT customizable 50% line fucking indicator. So yeah, it's just the middle of the range. Because it goes into that premium and discount shit. Because if you're shorting in premium, you'll short down at 50% because we might get a continuation long. All right, let's see. Do we hit any of our levels off open? I don't like taking trades off the 50% that much, though, to be honest with you. Okay, so we swept London. I'm actually extremely surprised that we didn't go for Asia as well. I'm actually probably going to wait on us to go for Asia. Wow. Holy shit, this day sucked. Alright, so that's the end of the session. So, I probably would have waited in real time for this to take Asia as well. But let's see what would happen if I didn't, right? So I usually, when we make a move like this and these highs are stacked, I want to see both of them get taken out. Just purely for liquidity reasons. So we sweep off this. Let's see if we get a 30-second trade off of it. We do. We get a small one. Actually, is this even a gap? No, it's not. No 2-minute. We have this small 1 minute, but we have this big ass 1 minute right below it, so I probably wouldn't take that. Let's see. We get a resweep here of this high. And we get... So it looks like, I mean, you could have taken this. This is kind of a dog shit play, though, if I'm being honest. See if this would even work. We got that displacement. I mean, the totally lack of momentum. Even my stop above the gap would be only 9 points. So I wouldn't take this trade, but let's see if it works. I think that tapped you out. So would be a pretty shitty ass fucking trade, but it would work. Me personally wouldn't take this trade. It's not off the initial sweep, so the reaction off of it is pretty shit. We didn't go for that Asia high, so this would just be a no trade day for me. Anybody have any questions on why that would be? Let me go to the back test. Let's get 812. So yeah, I wouldn't take that trade just solely based off we didn't take out both highs. I wanted to see reaction out both, etc., etc. All right, now let's go to the next day. We got about 3 days left on this back test. So far, we're doing, I don't even know we're up. We're plus something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No losses yet. We're plus 5. So even if I lose all 4 of these days, I'm still technically green. So let's see what happens. Takes a little bit of pressure off you, doesn't it? All right, so New York high. Got an hourly low right here. It seems like we sweep off that shit at pre-market, which is kind of crazy. London high taken out. All these levels taken out. Okay, let's see what we hit. Let's see what we hit off open. So I marked out this hourly. Oh, it seems like we have a data low here. So let's see if we get a reaction off that. It seems like we swept the high of it, but never got a trade to it. So this might be the... I think off open, I wouldn't be surprised if we go straight for this low. But let's see if I'm wrong. Okay, so we swept off previous day high. You may be like, why didn't you take a trade off that? It's because we had already swept it once in pre-market, and as you can see, that fucking banked, so. But we reswept it with a good-ass wick, so now we're coming down to our data wick low. There it is. Okay, so we swept the data wick. Let's see, will we get a setup off this? Looks like fucking no. No 30-second. This 2-minute big as fuck, so I'd probably wait for the next level to get hit. So here's our reversal off the data wick here. Oh, actually, fuck. I didn't even see this. So, hold on. So, let's see. Do we even get the inverse here? So this is not a bad trade for in any means, by any means. But we're reversing so low, so below the level here. You know what I mean? Like, we're getting this close back below the level. To me, that's a dog shit reaction, and that's dog shit momentum. Because it means we haven't even gotten back above that level. That's not a sweep if we're still below it. So I'd probably wait for the lower level to come at this point. But as you can see, we do get a nice reaction off that. And it seems like we bleed, or we pump for the rest of the day, and I get no setup. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so end of New York AM kill zone. No setup, no big deal. This trade isn't bad by any means, but if I were to take a trade, I would probably take I would probably take this at that point, which seems like it would have barely worked. Like, you would have gotten this close, and then you would have barely not gotten stopped out, no close here, and then you would have taken it for a dub. But personally, that's kind of a fucking shitty trade too, because you have no momentum through it because it took that long to get back above it. This would be a no trade day for the kid. Although I think, if I'm not mistaken, let's see, I feel like I took a trade on that day. What was that, the 12th? Why am I in May, bro? Yeah, I did. So first trade back. Oh yeah, this was the 1 hour fair value gap in S&T and the 3 minute. Let's see, was that off of? That's not the strategy I'm teaching right now, though. So that right there would be the... Oh my god, am I actually stupid as fuck? Hold on, let's go back here. Where was the data wick? Bro, I'm actually tripping. I didn't even check the 3 minute. What am I doing, bro? Okay, so this would actually be a fucking banger. I literally took the trade, too. What am I doing, bro? I didn't check the fucking 3-minute. So stop below 1-to-1 would have banked you. I'm actually fucking stupid. So the reason this would be a dub, my dumbass, there, as you can see now, on the 3-minute, it is a solid reaction. Great momentum close through the gap. Literally, this is what I would call a perfect fucking reaction. Because literally the next candle that isn't part of the fair value gap inversed it. That's an immediate V-shaped reaction. When I say V-shaped reaction, tell me, guys, what is this shape? It's a V. We literally come down, immediately make a gap and reverse. The reason I didn't see this at first is because I was on the lower time frames. Like I said, 3-minute is my absolute maximum that I'm going to try to take an inverse off of with this strategy. My dumbass just forgot to look at it. So that's on me. But let's go through the checklist. Are we in premium or discount? Where's the 50%? We're in discount and we're longing. Money. Major liquidity sweep, data low, literally number 1 on my list. Good reaction, beautiful reaction in the kill zone, beautiful momentum close above. Clear draw, yes. SMT, apparently, yes, there was an SMT. This is literally an A+ setup. You guys want to suck any more dick with a trading setup, it's right here. This is an A+. I can't believe I fucking almost skipped out on that. This is why I hate backtesting, bro. Because I never see the same shit I see in real time. But one thing that I want to cover real quick. I targeted 1-to-1 here. Oh, but Jack, but it went all the way back up to previous day high. But Jack, you could have gotten 130 points. Yeah, I could have also gotten stopped the fuck out, anally raped by a candle, and then just depressed the whole day. So tell me, if we're playing by fucking hindsight bias, then everybody would be a fucking 100% win rate trader. But the truth is, I'd rather follow a structured system than, deal with a bunch of hypotheticals. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to, 10 times out of 10, take my fucking setup and be happy with it, win or loss, as long as I'm following my rules. You know what I mean? All right, let's go to Wednesday, which I believe, if I'm not wrong here, was a no-trade day for me, maybe? Let's see. Let's check the trade recap. Yeah, it was no trade. No trade because no journal. Okay, let's go to the bar and let's see if I missed out on something here. Let's go to the hourly. Literally, notice how I'm doing the same thing at the beginning of every day, by the way. I'm going to the hourly, I'm going to the 4 hour, I'm checking levels. So London got swept earlier. This is an hourly swing low. Yeah, all right, let's check. Let's check what happens. So off open, let's see. Oh, funny enough, this hourly swing low is also at the 50%, so that's something to note. This might have just been a trend day, I'm not going to lie. Let's see. Do we get to my level? Okay, so we hit the 50%, but we edge my hourly. Why wouldn't we, right? There is the hourly. Okay, so we swept the hourly. The 50% is right above it, though, which is kind of cheeks. But we do have this good momentum close. Huh, I actually wonder why I didn't take this on Wednesday. What the fuck was I thinking? Because this is a pretty good... Honestly, the bad part about this setup is that you're closing right on that 50%, so you could get wicked out. But stop is only 10 points, actually. So I'm going to put it at the low, and I'm going to 1-to-1 it to this high. Let's see. This probably will be our first loss. I'm not going to cap. Yep. All right, so there's our first loss. And the reason why I say that, why I had a feeling it would be our first loss, is like I said, because of that 50%. This could have just... Basically, people play 50% as continuation, like I said. That's why the 50% of the range is so important. You could come up to it and then get a continuation. So as you can see, we went below it, came back above it, and I longed, but instead got faked out and we continued for short. So that gives us our first loss of the backtest. I didn't take that in real time, probably for that reason, if I'm being honest. So that's actually kind of funny. But I'm not going to be like, oh, well, actually, I didn't take that because I almost fucked up and didn't backtest this win. So I'm going to keep it fair and I'm going to call it a loss. But I do want to see if we reacted off the London and Asia low here at this session. Okay, so we did react off the London low. Seems like we got a long off it too. I'm just going to check this out. Like I only take one trade a day personally. So I'm going to always be 100 with you guys. Like I'm going to get off after I take that trade. This is a combined 1 minute. This is kind of shit. Let's see if it works anyway. Holy momentum. This momentum is dog shit. I don't even know if I'd want to take that. Yeah, and you get rejected. You get fucked immediately. Okay, so that's an L. Now let's go to Thursday the 14th. So yeah, probably that trade I didn't take in real time for that 50% reason. You know, you could always get faked out and get a continuation. But we're going to be fair on this backtest. Okay, so we get this drizzy ass shit right here. Not an hourly low yet. All right, let's just play this out and see what happens. Actually, I forgot to look at the highs. Okay, all right, let's check. Let's see what levels we get. Okay, we're getting a moon off open. This is clearly a data wick. So I'm gonna mark out that data wick high here and see if we hit it. We edge it right here. Let's see. Will we come back for it though? Probably. If not, I'd be a little surprised, to be honest with you. Okay, there it is. So, we sweep the data wick high, and we have a 1 minute setup right here. Let's see, can we get a displacement close below this fucking candle? Or below this box? Oh my god. Apparently not. Interesting. So, at this point, we're clearly not respecting the level. We're clearly not getting a close. So I would just move on to my next level, which is going to be... let's see. Is this the data wick? Yeah, it is. Okay. That already got swept. That shit is so far away. There's no way we're getting that. So funny enough, I wonder what trade I took today, because this shit is ass. Okay, so... I guess I took a trade using my other strategy, but we're not worried about that right now. So this would be a no-trade day. Funny enough. So maybe I should have fucking... Alright. Now, 8:15, the last day of the back test, and then once this is done, we're going to recap, and then we're going to do some psych tips, and then we're going to get out of here because it's 7:40. I'm also going to answer some questions if you guys have any. Let's see. Bro, my fucking Discord lags all the fucking time. Step foot in. I got to dip out. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. No, I'm kidding. You're not looking for 1 hour, 4 hour for value gap respects? Not with this strategy. This strategy is only major liquidity sweeps. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even have to trade. Well, alright. That's fair enough. Well, that's honestly just like trading summarized, bro. Like a lot of that shit, like you will explain it to someone, but you can't really make them understand it unless they experience it themselves. You know what I mean? Oh, fuck. I just did it again. Alright, so this reaction happened. I think I literally was going over this the other day. So let's see. Okay, so we immediately sweep out these New York lunch lows and stacked lows here. Do we get a setup? Let's see. Let's see. So we have that 1 minute. This is literally right after market open, so low-key not that good of a setup. Let's see. Looks like no. Okay, that's fine. So let's see. This is New York AM low from yesterday. I probably wouldn't even be interested in this. I'm just going to wait for us to hit this level. Okay, so we hit our level. We made a nice 30-second gap. Little hourly low here. See if we can get along off it. Holy shit. Where did my fucking setup go? What is going on? There we go. Alright, so I like the gap size. I don't really know what the volatility is here, so we'll check in a minute. Let's see if we get numbers. Okay. We'll like to see this close in the next couple candles. Interesting. Okay, so this is an interesting one. Let's go through the checklist. So, we are longing in discount. Bang. Major liquidity sweep. Yeah, it seems like it was at hourly. There it is. Solid gap size. You know, I'm not mad about it. Let's see. What's the stop on this? It's about 14. That's not bad. Okay, we could 1-to-1 into this high. Good reaction. The reaction itself isn't horrible. The momentum is shit. Just because we reacted. But we did get a displacement candle close above. So that is nice. We're in the kill zone. Clear draw. We got these gaps in these 50 in the 50% level. So yeah, let's see. Does this work? I know I took a loss on this day just trading my own shit. So let's see. Okay, so this honestly probably was the loss I took, I think. Let's see. I think it was. I feel like I remember that. Yeah, it's the same exact loss. Great reaction off previous day low. Give us a 30-second. So let's see. Let's go on the higher time frames and see if there was a gap that did work. I feel like I remember a 2-minute working. So there was no 1 minute. Let's go to the 2-minute here. There's a couple fucking 2 minutes here. Jesus Christ. Okay, so you add this 2 minute. It's not bad. 3 minute big AF. So let's say you traded this first 2 minute, which I wouldn't be a huge fan of because it's going into a bunch of others. I mean, this wick would have fucked you. So not my personal favorite. That would just be a regular ass loss. But let's go over the stats. we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins, 2 losses, and then 1, 2, 3 break even / no trade days. So halfway through August, you're +4. Meaning, let's say you're risking, you're on a prop account and you're risking about 300 per day times 4. You're still up 1,200 on one prop firm account halfway through the month. Risking about 300, which is what I would risk. And that's a payout. So that was this a bad setup? Let's go through it. We already went through the checklist, and we said, listen, this was a good 30-second. I took it in real time. It was in premium. We had a major liquidity sweep. We had a solid reaction. We had a good momentum close. We were inside. This, because of that weird ass fake out move, I would say is about an A- setup, in my opinion. A- setups are good setups. A- setups have made me a lot of money. You know what I mean? So we got a good liquidity pool sweep. We got a good amount of our checklist checked off. And we did fucking well. And let me just be honest with you guys. August, July, and June have been pretty shit price action. They've been not great. And actually, I've seen many of my mentors in this last week, this most recent week, the 11th through the 15th, so where I did 1 break even, 1 win, 2 loss, or 2 break evens, 1 win, 1 loss. So I was actually red on this week. A lot of people lost money in this last week. Me, the week before, because my strategy is fucking money, I was able to still be green on the week, or still be green on the month, because this is how a strategy works, guys. You are never going to win 20 trades in a row every single month. You're just not going to do it. And if you are, you're good at fucking hats off to you. But this is how a strategy works. You compound, you win more than you lose, and over time, it just keeps on growing. If I keep on winning more than I lose every single month, or every single couple months, or every single whatever, then I am going to be profitable in the long run. The reason why people have problems is because people will have weeks like this. People will have weeks like this. I'm just going to restart this. People will have weeks like this, and then the next week they'll have a week like this and completely forget about this. They'll only think, oh my God, my strategy doesn't work. Look at what's happened recently. I can't catch any wins. When in reality, you just caught a bunch of wins last week, and you should still be profitable if your risk is consistent. People only think in recency. That's what hurts them the most in trading, is they only think about what's happening recently. Why am I not winning recently? It could be an array of different things. It's not that your strategy doesn't work. It's that price action clearly is kind of dick right now. Or, maybe you got faked out. Maybe something happened. Or maybe your fucking profit curve is just, everything is just happening. You just won. We just won 5 trades in a row. Oh my God, we took 2 losses. Or, what is this? Was it 6 wins, 2 losses, 3 break even or no trade days? Let's just get rid of this for a second. What's 6 divided by 8? 75%. What did I tell you guys at the beginning of the video was my win rate? 70 to 80%. What's right in the middle of that? 75. So, let's say this week never happened, and we just had this week. How different is your mindset now? Because now you're down 1, because you have 1 win and 2 losses. Is your mindset different? If you are saying to yourself, my mindset would be different, I'd be thinking differently, then you are not ready to be a full-time trader, and you are clearly not in the mindset of a profitable trader. Because wins and weeks like this are going to happen all the time if your strategy is profitable, just like weeks like this will happen all the time. You know what I mean? So it's all just about shutting the fuck up, letting the strategy play out, and letting the wins and losses speak for themselves. Because with this strategy that I broke down to you guys in about 20 minutes, and the backtest that I showed you, we had more wins than losses. And what did I say? We were plus 4 here, right? Depending on how much you risk, that's fucking bread. So maybe you're on a live account like me, right? Right now, I risk about $2,000 a day on my live account. So this would have been a plus 8K month halfway through the month for me, which is obviously not bad at all, right? That's a good month. Now let's fast forward 4 months. If I keep having 8K months or 10K months or 20K months, I'm not going to be risking $2,000 anymore, am I? All of a sudden, I'm going to be risking $5, $6, $7,000. Let's say I'm risking $7,000 a trade instead of two. Oh yeah, I'm only up +4 on the month. That's 28 grand in half a fucking month. That's fucking insane. That's a huge difference between 8, right? So it's all just about letting the strategy play out. There's never a time where you should think to yourself, especially if you're using a strategy that you know is proven to be profitable, there should never be a time where you have a week like this and think about skipping over skipping to a different strategy, hopping to another strategy. Because that's not how this shit works. Trading is not a get rich quick scheme. Everybody seems to think that it is, but it's just not. Trading is a longevity game, and you are growing an account over time. The law of compounding will always be in your favor. Have you ever heard someone be like, would you rather get $1 million right now or get $1 and it doubles every single day for a year? Most people will be like, the million right now, that's so much money. But compounding is going to tell you you're going to make so much more fucking money with that dollar doubling. Treat trading the same exact fucking way. I'm up +4 on this week. Maybe at the beginning of my live account, that would be $400. Fuck. But if you have enough $400 weeks, all of a sudden you made $1,000 in a month. All right, that's not that bad. Yeah, I made $600 or I made $1,000 in a month. But now you can start risking $600 instead of $400 or whatever. Now you can start risking $1,000. Now you can start risking $2,000. And before you know it, as long as you're consistent and as long as you keep having shit like this, where your win rate is about 70 or 1-to-1, whatever, no matter what's happening day by day, it doesn't fucking matter at all, because in a couple months, if you stay consistent, guess what? You're fucking green. And you're green by a lot. Me, I am so excited for 2026. I'm about to take a 2.5-week break from trading because I'm going to football camp. And I couldn't be more happy to not trade, because I'm going to get a huge mental reset. I'm not going to be thinking about trading. And then when I come back, I can just execute my system and win. I'm on my live account. My live account is fully set up, and I'm risking about $2 grand a day right now on my live account. By December, that shit should be 4 at least. And by the end of 2026 is going to be the biggest year of my life. And I'm telling you guys that right now, there will be multiple 50K plus months for me in 2026. And I'm telling you guys that right now, and I'll come back to it. And I'm gonna come back to the stream, and I'm gonna show you guys, that manifestation and also just execution is possible. Every single person who's gonna watch this video can fucking learn this simple ass strategy and can manage risks the same as me. But you know what they probably can't do? Stay consistent after a week like this. Can you erase this week and say, oh, my shit still works? Yeah, I was -1 on the week, but it still works. It still works, because a lot of people will go, bro, I just traded. I just got up at 8 in the morning. I just traded, looked at a screen for an hour and a half for 5 days straight, and I lost money on the week. This shit sucks. The strategy doesn't work. I need to quit. I need to escape it. I need to strat hop. You're a dumb fuck if that's how you're looking at trading, and you shouldn't be trading. Because, bro, there are traders, major traders, who have red months. Imagine that times 4, where there are traders who will lose 2 months in a row, and then they'll go green for the next 8, and then they'll have another losing, and then they'll have a winning, and it's like, okay, so I lost 2 months in a row, and then I won 5 months in a row. Like, but what are you thinking at the end of those 2 months? Are you thinking, well, I'll win 5 months in a row, or, well, I'll get this back? Or are you thinking, fuck, bro, my shit is cooked, it doesn't work, I'm a shit trader? This is the key to everything. I didn't know that we were going to get these results before we backtested, obviously, but here are the results, and they're speaking the truth. 6 wins, 2 losses, 3 break-even or no-trade days. Honestly, and I'm being honest, for me, pretty mid. +4 halfway through the month is pretty fucking mid for me. But it is August PA, summer PA. I don't love trading in the summer because it's kind of shit. I mean, I also will almost never have this would come out to 6 no-trade days in a month. Like, that would mean more than 1 a week for me, and that basically never happens. So it just shows that summer PA is kind of shit. But +4 is still fucking bank. And the more you compound, the more bank it's going to be. And that's why fucking psychology is so important in trading, because I just taught you guys a simple fucking strategy. And it should come to you really quick. And, you don't have to spend time looking at different shit. Because I think a lot of people will be like, all right, All right, you know what? This was a good strategy. This is a good strategy. But wait, have you heard of wick theory? Have you heard of time construct? Have you heard of sucking dick? Oh my god, this is fire. I gotta add this to my strategy. I gotta do this and that. Shut the fuck up, bro. The more you add shit to your strategy, the less setups you're gonna get. It's kind of like that. You know how people say when you multitask, all of a sudden your attention to each subject decreases? It's the same fucking thing. If you start adding or looking for more confluences in your trading, you're gonna dwindle from an already profitable strategy that just made us fucking bank for this fucking session. +4 halfway through a month, +8, that'll be, 20K for me basically in a month, and that's off a shit month. I usually do +12. So, or +10 at least, anything like that. So like, what the fuck, what are we doing? What are we doing here? So yeah, that's my message to you guys. We did the backtest, we did the strategy explanation, we did some psych at the end there. Let's see if we got any questions. Can you take me out to dinner in 2026? That makes sense. Yeah, it's just fucking Gook in here now. That's how you know he wants it. But we've been live for a while. I'm going to upload this to YouTube. This is a life-changing session right here. Because this not only gives you a profitable strategy, but I hope, at least I don't know, Gook, if you agree, but this curve and that explanation of how trading works and how it's a long-term game is so fucking important. Because a lot of people will have only the bottom week and think that their shit doesn't work or think they need to change. If your strategy has been back-tested or you know that the strategy is profitable over time, then there's no reason to worry if you have a red day or 2 red days or a red week or whatever. Because mathematically, you are going to bank. And right before, let's go to ChatGPT. Let's say I have $20,000 in a live futures account, right? So, what's it called? So, I have $20,000 in a live futures account. Let's say my win rate is 70%. My RR is 1, and I risk 5% of my account with 1 trade a day. What's the account at in 6 months? Let's see. Starting balance 20,000, win rate 126 trading days. Winners make 5%, losers make 5%. Estimated account balance. Oh, what do you know? 225 grand. This assumes perfect discipline, no variance drawdowns, and the win rate actually plays out. So, in practice, sequence of losses can cause large drawdowns, a 5-loss streak. A 5-loss streak minus 22.6 account hit. That's totally true. You could have losses, and then you're going to be like, well, fuck, that could really fuck my account. What am I going to do? I got to drop my risk, etc., etc. That is true. That's totally true. But if you stick to your strategy, also I've never lost more than twice in a row. I think I've lost maybe 3 times in a row once this year. Maybe. I think. But if your strategy works over time and you're banking over time like this and you compound the risk, it's crazy what you can turn this fucking account into. A live account or prop firm accounts. You have to lose before you start to win. NASDAQ dumps before hitting all-time highs. Yeah, literally. But, that it just goes to show, bro. Like, psychology is the most important part of trading by far. I could teach people a 75% win rate strategy and they still will never be profitable. Why is that? Is it because of the strategy? Because mathematically it shouldn't be. So you tell me. I will catch you guys. This is my goodbye. For 2.5 weeks, I'm going to be a little inactive. Maybe I'll post some videos on Instagram. But this is my goodbye. Goodbye, Guck. And, I will see you guys later. Go full screen on this. I will see you guys later. Trading is such a life-changing skill that you can learn as long as you can learn a strategy, execute it with perfect risk management and discipline, and just trust the process. This is a marathon, not a sprint. See you guys later.